This podcast is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Yeah, Coach, a lot of action at center, I guess. Nichols working at guard some, Wiggins working at guard some. Just what are your thoughts on what you got going on there and just, with Kudus being out so long, the issues that's caused?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's caused issues. It's given other guys opportunities to rep, and it's never a problem to have too many centers ready to play. I mean, what you're doing is you want to give different centers reps working with the one quarterback. And because the worst situation is, right, when starting center might go down in the game and you're looking at what does the TV camera always pan to, right? The backup center getting snaps with the first team quarterback. And so we're trying to make that a non-issue if it ever did happen. And so it's been really fun watching those different guys, different styles, different leadership styles. We all have to get better at being more loud with our communication and understand like we're going to be in some hostile environments. And so that's got to improve, but I'm really happy with all the guys who've been repping center. TJ Don, Josh Street, Brooks Edmondson. We've been repping a lot of guys there, and you can just never have too many guys ready to play that position.
I think Sam said that Nichols played guard in the scrimmage and Wiggins was at center, I guess, most of the time. I don't know if you guys mixed it up, but I know you guys love hypotheticals, but if you had to go tomorrow, how would you have that lineup there?
Well, most of the scrimmage, Addison played center, and so he played about I want to say 40 plays as a center, and Mario really only played about 12 or so at center. But that's probably what we would do, just because Addison has so many more banked reps in this offense as a center. So if I had to play tomorrow, that's probably what we would do, is have Mario play guard. And I'm not scared to mix it up. I think guys have to be ready to play. I told the guys I'm going to play the guys that deserve to play. I think there's a notion that you can only play 5 O-linemen. And I've had a couple times in my career where I've had 6 starters, 7 starters in my brain where guys are rotating, because you want to play the guys that deserve to play, especially in the day and age where a guy could transfer just like that. Like, I don't want to ruin my own O-line depth that we've worked really hard to create just because I never play a guy on a Saturday. And so we got 7, 8, 9 guys that are playing at a really high level, and it's been really fun to watch.
Joe Moore's been an interesting pickup, and saw him at guard. So what are your thoughts about him, what his strengths are, and maybe where his true position might lie?
Yeah, and he's another one. He's got, over like 3,000 or 2,500 career snaps under his belt. He's done that at tackle, a lot at right tackle when he was at Richmond, and then Syracuse moved him inside at guard, and so we've been playing him a ton of tackle because I want to give him his confidence back that he had maybe 3 years ago or 2 years ago at Richmond. So I'm trying to bring that confidence back for him, which you've seen it come on. I mean, he's done a great job against some really good DNs. And then the last few practices, we've been, again, rotating him in at guard and moving guys around. Now is the time to move guys around. I'd like to get through the second scrimmage and be like, okay, these next 2 weeks, here's our focus. Here's how we're going to limit our rotations. Right now is the time to try guys out, different combinations of 5 in different positions.
Yeah.
But Joe's been a pleasant surprise. I mean, and I shouldn't say surprise, but we didn't have to like recruit him versus the world. He was an efficient, well-coached, good player that played a lot of football, and he wanted to be a part of this group, and he's fit in seamlessly. He's got a great personality, and I'm super glad we have him.
Jaquin and Jackson sat right where you are yesterday and said Blackstock and Carmona are dogs, which is a good thing. Are they dogs? And can you talk about those two at tackles?
They're hogs, man, is what they are. They're hogs. And so those guys have done a nice job. Both of them have their fleas, just like every O-lineman has. And we talk a lot in our room that every player has an edge. And what that means is everybody has a God-given gift that makes them better than other people at that thing. Whether, hey, I'm a guy who benches 500, but maybe I don't run 5'1" in the 40. Or, hey, I'm a guy who's really smooth and fast and quick off the ball, but I'm not the strongest guy in the world. So we want our guys to lean into their edge. And those guys have different edges, like Keyshawn is a little bit stiff. He's a little bit stiffer than you'd want an O-lineman to, but he's got unbelievable feet, unbelievable speed, and unbelievable hands, right? And so is he the smoothest mover? No, but he's extremely twitchy and fast. Whereas Junior is a little more smooth, right? And I wish that he had a little bit more like smoothness to him, or he has a little more twitch. And I wish he was a little smoother at times. And so both those guys have been playing well. We talk in our room is, I think Jeff Stoutland with the Eagles use the phrase, hungry dogs run faster, and we're going to say hungry hogs run faster.
Coach, I guess we haven't seen Amari Wiggins play a lot.
Mhm.
So what does he do well, and what kind of player is he?
Yeah, so he's short, and he's got short legs, but he's got some twitch and smoothness to him. Sometimes those short guys that are short-legged aren't able to open their hips as well as you like, but he's a short-legged guy who can play with leverage, but can also set his hip angles for different run schemes really well. And so he's got really strong hands. He's got really good grip. He's maybe 305 to 310 range weight-wise, but he plays with great leverage, and he's got really strong hands. And so he's done a great job, and he's underrated football smart. People think guys like me and him that played JUCO ball, that we're not smart, but he is smart dude. I mean, his football IQ is high, and he's usually guy in a media room who's first guy to answer a general question, which has been really fun.
Then Coach Pittman was saying preseason that he really wants Tykees to play at guard. I guess how close would he be to maybe, getting some reps at first team guard right now?
I think he's right there. I think he's had a little setback. He missed a little bit of time with a little mild ankle deal. And so he missed a little bit of time in practice. And so that set him back a little bit. He's still dealing with that. And so that's held him back a little bit. But Tykees is right there in the mix with those, that 8-9 number I'm talking about is guys like, hey, we can count on these guys. Like, I'm not going to, I remember when we were playing at Tennessee in 2015, Denver Kirkland's helmet pops off, right? Well, Denver Kirkland's backup was redshirt freshman Johnny Gibson. And Johnny Gibson's running in, and I'm freaking out. Like, okay, is Denver hurt, Because, like, that's a big deal. Whereas, like, hey, we got a helmet pop off or a guy goes down for a series. Like, I'm not like in panic mode like I might have been back then when Johnny was a freshman. So Tykees is right there. He's doing a great job. He's really improved his leadership. He's really improved his football IQ. It's coming. I mean, I feel really confident in him, and he is on the right direction, and I would feel really good about him having to play for us.
Just wondering, what was your take on how the O-line did in the scrimmage Thursday? Maybe what are you looking for in the next scrimmage?
So I think we need to get in game shape. I think there's a difference between running all summer and doing those, short bursts conditioning styles, or you're running gassers hundreds at a time. Where I would like to see us improve is our game conditioning, which is everywhere I've ever been. Usually you get to that first scrimmage, you expose them to 12 play racks, and that's their first time getting exposed to that, and it's a shock to their system. And so what I would really like to see in the next scrimmage that I don't think we saw in the first scrimmage was an ability to play at a high level on play 9, 10, 11, 12 finished drives. And we saw that in the spring game a little bit too, where I think that first drive with the offense or the second drive with the offense was like a 12, 13, 14 player. And I thought by that time we had worked our way into playing shape, and we were able to finish the drive. I felt like in this last scrimmage, we didn't do a good enough job of staying at a high level throughout the course of the drive where they're playing consecutive snaps in a row. So I'd really like to see us improve in that area and finish blocks a lot better when we're tired in the next scrimmage.
The days before the portal and NIL, it was all, the offensive line, a lot of it was bringing guys in, cohesiveness, being around a while. Now you've got a lot of new guys here. I guess Josh Braun's the only guy who's playing the same spot he did here as he did last year. Just what's it like building a line in this day and age, and just how do you feel about, a lot of the newcomers mixing with a few holdovers?
I think it's the most important factor in doing it now. I mean, talent matters. It matters, and we'll never discount talent. But the makeup and the character and the cohesiveness of your offensive line room far outweighs your talent. And so you need the right type of kids in this day and age that can handle the pressure, can handle the scrutiny. All right, we're the only position on planet Earth that plays with our back to the ball. Okay, and we're the ones that only have negative stats. So we have to be resilient as a group. All right. And we say all the time, you could play great for 67 plays, but 3 plays that don't go your way, the guy you're playing against is SEC player of the week. And then you have everybody yelling at you how much you stink. And so it's like the mafia. This is the life we chose, right? You know, that's the old phrase. We chose it. And so that being said, the cohesiveness and the group camaraderie fall and just the execution together, seeing the game through one set of eyes. We're going to recruit talented players here, and that's the goal, and we're going to keep doing that. But also, you got to get the right type of talented kids, because that matters a lot more than anything.
And you feel you have that, or how do you feel about
100%.
that?
100%. I like this room a lot. Really good personalities, good character, good group character. You know, we talk about 100 daps a day right now, which means like we want to touch each other 100 times a day, as far as either a high five or a knuckles, whatever it is. And just because that creates a sense of togetherness. And so our goal is 100 a day. And I think yesterday was 131, which is our highest. And I think in the scrimmage, we were way under the goal. And so I think we were so focused on the play rather than, hey, let's play it together. And so it's good to see the last couple of days, it's been a high number.
Coach, Marion Harris, I haven't heard his name mentioned much. How's he coming along? Where's he playing on the line?
By far the most improved player on this team, or really in my room, I should say. I mean, his level of play right now is extremely high. I mean, he had the best scrimmage probably of anyone in our room. Probably him and Keyshawn Blackstock had their best scrimmages since I've been here, and that was really fun to see. Really proud of him, and I think you see it in how he moves. He's got shoulders back, chest up, chin up. He's got confidence. He's gotten his weight back where he wants it. He's feeling strong, and you're just seeing the maturity of him being a 3rd-year guy, and that's an underrated thing. It's usually that 3rd year where guys, you know, I'm not going to say the phrase, but you know what, and get off the pot, right? And you can tell he's taking that step. So I'm really proud of him.
You looking at him to play guard and tackle, or just one or the other?
He could do either. I mean, he's been awesome at both. Today he took, you know, probably 10 reps as one left guard and looked great, you know, and he's doing the two reps at left tackle, looked great. It's just hard to find a bad play of the guy, you know, and I'm really proud of him. So he deserves to play. He's one of the guys I'm talking about. Like, I'm not going to just not play somebody, you know, if you're number 6, okay? If you deserve to play, you're going to play.
Anytime a player comes in here and talks to us about, you know, the leadership and the culture, Taylon's the first guy that's named, but Fernando's not too far behind. How valuable has his, you know, his mentality, you know, what he does for the culture of the room, but also just the talent too? I mean, I guess that has to play a part when he demands that kind of respect.
So you're asking just like how has like his personality been?
Yeah, the mesh, like the
You want me to keep
personality.
gassing him up? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, because I feel like the offensive line obviously was a big struggle last
Sure,
year,
yeah.
and having a bookend left tackle that can,
Mhm.
I mean, that's got to feel like one of the most important players
Yeah.
on the entire roster.
Well, he ain't bookend yet. You know, I mean, still got work to do, and he got to stay hungry, and he's on his way. But he's just a good dude. He comes from a great dad who's a longtime football coach, so he's a son of a coach. And you know, I think I think we got him because I'm Cuban and he's Cuban. We both got Cuban daddies, and I think that his personality is just one of like a guy who loves football. And I think when you see a guy who's so unaffected by the outside world and like what people think of him and so authentic, but it's also talented, I think that's just fun to play with, coach. I mean, all the above, right? I think he just kind of showed like you can be a great player and a good leader, but also just be like a normal, fun guy to hang out with too, you know? And so that's, you know, I love talking him up, but he also needs to freaking block landing better to that dude.
When we spoke to you in the spring, there's a lot of excitement of being back in Fev. I'm just curious now that you've been here for a few months. I mean, what's it been like for you personally? Just
It was
being
good. Yeah, the vacation was good. Rogers Aquatic Center, unbelievable. Amazium, unbelievable. What's that? Local lime tacos, unbelievable. So I mean, what else could you want? You know, a good place for the kids and some good restaurants. It's been great. I love it here, and I'm close to home, so it's awesome.
Hey, Coach, we've heard a lot about Coach Pittman being the highest paid GA in the entire country. Just, you know, how valuable of a resource has it been to have him, you know, in your room and helping you?
It's good. I mean, we've had to make, you know, my specialty has been wide zone, pin and pull, toss cracks. That's kind of been my specialty as a line coach. And I'll be honest with you, our inside zone on the scrimmage looked gross. I mean, it just didn't look like it's supposed to look. And like, I need his help. And he's there to help me with it. Hey, you know, say it like this, emphasize this. Him and Coach Petrino. And then I thought today it's probably the best it's looked all of training camp, that inside zone. So it's awesome. It's a great resource. I'm kind of like I maybe make things too complicated or too complex, and Coach Pittman is always, his specialty has been able to take the complex and make it simple. And so I need that from him. He's able to take something that's really complex, and you know he can cut down all the extra fat and make it simple, and that way I can coach it better to our kids, and I get that from him. I can relay that to our kids, and man, it's just a huge value for me. And if I didn't have him, you know, I'd probably be somewhere coaching inside zone, not as good today as I did, you know. So
We've heard from pretty much everybody that's come in here, just the chemistry in the room has really improved. What has been the key for that with, you know, the room obviously having a lot of new faces and guys that weren't here last year?
yeah, I think it's be authentic, be open, say what's real, no elephants in the room, no unspoken crud, you know, just being open and honest. Coaching, being demanding, demand it. Standards are the same for everybody, but every person is different. So you can't coach every human the same, but you hold everybody to the same expectation and same standard. So there's not like, hey, that he don't, you know, he lets him get away with this. So there's high accountability, but also there isn't like, you know, we're letting everybody be themselves. You know, they know that I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be who I am, and they can be themselves and, you know, be who they are and who God made them to be. And so I think just the authentic relationships that you build by being normal and not being fake and all that, I think has helped us be really close up to this point.
When you first came through, the Petrino legacy here was still pretty fresh.
Mhm.
Now you're working with him. What's your take on just him as a coach and, you know, work with the offensive staff like he has?
Yeah, demanding, tough, brilliant. I mean, just detailed. There's no detail that's not talked about. We got a lot of offense in, probably the most offense I've had at this point in the training camp in my career. And our kids are executing it with confidence because he's such a good teacher of it. Because he's got to teach the coaches, and then the coaches got to go teach the players. And so I feel like he teaches me the offense so well. That way I can be a better teacher for our kids. And so it's just been a lot of fun. And you know he's got always you know, he's got a Rolodex of experience and things, and he'll remember a play from 20 years ago. And hey, we had to check this, and this was this run check, or this was this protection check, and it's been great. And you know, the biggest thing that stands out to me is just how good he is with those quarterbacks. I mean, they are on top of it. They are on top of it. So it's been really fun.
I was going to ask you about Petrino also, but I was also wondering about numbers on the offensive line. Oh, you got a lot of walk-ons, but 13 scholarship guys right now. Is that where you'd want, or would you prefer to have?
Yeah, obviously not. Yeah, obviously we'd like to be at minimum 3 deep on scholarship wise. We're lucky we got 2 kids that are playing like scholarship guys, and TJ Don, who was a scholarship player for me at Baylor, and then Brooks Edmondson. You know, those guys are playing at a high level. So we're probably a little bit lucky this year. But yeah, obviously we'd like that number to be somewhere around 16, 17. And just the way it shook out, guys leaving, maybe guys that didn't fit into the room or the new culture. And you know, when you go get 3 transfers, it's not like 3 more are excited to come in, you know, because you know, there's only 5 spots. So when you're talking to number 5 or number 6 or 7 or as guys that would come in and play as a transfer or a JUCO signee, they're not going to be like chomping on the bit. They're going to read your article that says we already have our starters, which we don't, but it's okay. You got to write it. But they're going to read that article and they're going to be like, I ain't going there. And so I think that's kind of where we're at. We're a little bit under the number. We'd like to be higher in the future.
Kind of a random question, but when we've been out there, y'all haven't played music, but there was music today. Any reason behind that?
Way above my pay grade. Yeah, I can only hear my voice and the center's calls. That's all I hear.
Yeah. And who keeps track of the DAPs?
Eli Henderson. Eli Henderson, he's still contributing. You know, him and Brock Burns are contributing. They're hanging around, helping coach. They want to be coaches, and so you know, they got different medical issues that kept them from being able to play anymore. But they're really contributing to our team still behind the scenes. You know, helping me with along in the offensive line, along with Sean Fogarty, who I want to give a shout out to, who's been really great. Helper in our room, and he's not just my assistant. He's another O-line coach that we have who's going to be great. And then Keedron Phillips. So I got a huge support system on the O-line to help me, corral all these hoodlums.
On the daily daps, is it like just practice or meetings or all day or eating?
We're tracking it at practice. Yeah, we couldn't possibly track it.
I heard everybody talk about it before. So
Yeah. No, it's just, and here's what it is. There's a old video I saw a couple years ago, Steve Nash, and they talked about they counted how many times Steve Nash touched his teammates while he played, and just how infectious that becomes. And it's just about connecting. The game is about connection, right? You got young people who feel a lot of pressure from the outside, and it's high stakes. And how can you continue to grow and be resilient? Well, you got to be connected in your room. So it's just a silly way for me to keep our guys connected, because it starts out corny at first, right? At first, they're like, it's corny, and they think it's silly, and they're being funny with it, and they're just doing it at random times. But eventually it becomes like, hey, they want to do it, and it becomes more real and connection. And it's kind of a fake it till you make it thing, but that's the right kind of fake it till you make it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.